During World War II, German engineers were well known for their creative, often unconventional aircraft designs. One such project, the Blohm Voss P-170, is a fantastic notion that has jumped straight from the pages of a steampunk novel or a science fiction-inspired scenarios. Was this an overly ambitious, visionary leap, or a practical machine for military supremacy? Let us look at the story of a steampunk-inspired company from Germany. Driven by the need to gain an advantage in a rapidly expanding war, Germany led the way in aviation innovation in the early 1940s. Blohm Voss, already well known for their unconventional designs, approached this assignment straight on. The P-170 project, led by chief designer Richard Vogt, was envisioned as a ground attack aircraft and high-speed bomber that might alter Luftwaffe capability. Vogt took a futuristic and unconventional approach. The P-170's design varied from typical aircraft layouts. The aircraft was a study in symmetric engineering, with 3 BMW 801 radial engines, one on each wingtip and one in the center of the fuselage. This configuration aimed to enhance thrust while reducing drag, resulting in speeds capable of outrunning opposing aircraft. Unlike traditional bombers, which survived enemy engagements thanks to heavy defensive weaponry, the P-170 was designed with speed in mind. Vogt conceived an airplane capable of entering enemy territory, delivering cargo, and departing before being intercepted, prioritizing speed over defense. The P-170's altitude was a dramatic change at a time when most bombers were relatively sluggish and well-equipped. It demonstrated, particularly against more advanced Allied air defenses, a growing realization within the Luftwaffe that speed and agility could be just as effective as armor and firepower. The P-170 followed a more significant trend in German aviation towards unique design innovation. From jet propulsion to asymmetric planes, this era saw a creative boom that pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Even in this ambitious atmosphere, the P-170 stood out for its engineering as much as its sheer boldness. The Blohm Voss P-170 was designed with retrofuturism that felt ahead of its time while being produced during World War II. Decades later, the appearance of this aircraft would be consistent with the steampunk genre, which combines future inventiveness with industrial-era equipment. The P-170 is a visual masterpiece featuring 3 powerful engines, an attractive fuselage, and a basic airframe. The perfectly symmetrical arrangement of exposed propeller-driven motors evokes the industrial beauty often associated with steampunk design. Steampunk usually celebrates the concept of mechanical innovation by featuring exposed components and bold, unique designs. These characteristics define the P-170, which blends beautiful and practical form and function. Its mechanical, unadorned beauty is reminiscent of a bygone era seen through the lens of speculative fiction. The design of the P-170, particularly for the writers of Star Wars Episode I, has stunning similarities to contemporary science fiction. Both have powerful engines and simplified core bodies designed for speed and agility. Although the P-170 was a genuine engineering achievement, its resemblance to these hypothetical vehicles highlights its ahead-of-its-time creativity. Based on the P-170 today, steampunk aficionados and aviation history both will find it easy to get inspired. The P-170 is a testimony to its designer's inventiveness and ambition, who dared to go outside the box. Real-world engineering meets the fantastical to create a design that feels equally at home in alternate histories and aviation museums. Even decades after its completion, its striking appearance and ingenious design make it an intriguing case study in how engineering can inspire. The Blohm Voss P-170's innovative design was powered by 3 BMW 801 radial engines, each of which produced an impressive 1,600 horsepower. Their engines were widely used in numerous German aircraft, including the Focke-Wulf FW-190, and were among the most reliable and robust of their day. They guaranteed that the P-170 would perform to the same level as the fastest aircraft of the day. The P-170's 3-engine configuration taught as much aerodynamics as it did power. Drag was avoided by evenly dispersing thrust and positioning the engines symmetrically along the central fuselage and wingtips, allowing the aircraft to reach its planned top speed of 820 kilometers per hour. 510 miles per hour. The P-170, with its tiny size, could carry up to 1,000 kilograms of bombs, given a strong arsenal for precise strikes. Its speed would have enabled it to deliver its payload, quickly pass through opposing defenses, and retreat before interceptors could react. Designed to outstrip opposing aircraft rather than battle them, the P-170 was envisioned as a hit-and-run bomber. This concept represented a significant shift in strategy, emphasizing speed and surprise above traditional defensive weapons. The P-170's speed and agility would theoretically make it nearly impregnable. The P-170's approach differed significantly from that of conventional bombers such as the American B-25 Mitchell and the Heinkel HE-111. While the P-170 focused solely on speed, attempting to redefine what a bomber could be, these aircraft relied on defensive weaponry and formations for safety. However, speed alone was insufficient for survival. If a faster and more maneuverable aircraft had caught the P-170 without defensive armaments or heavy armor, it would have been highly vulnerable. Its reliance on speed was both its strength and weakness. The engineers who designed the P-170 made every effort to keep it lightweight and efficient. From its compact airframe to its clean engine layout, every aspect of the design was optimized for performance. However, this emphasis on economy meant foregoing the agility and flexibility demonstrated by other bombers of the time. The P-170 was intended to revolutionize the rules of aerial combat with its trio of powerful engines and simpler design. Outpacing most current bombers and even some fighters, its planned top speed of 820 kilometers per hour, 510 miles per hour, would have placed it among the fastest aircraft in the skies during World War II. The P-170's primary duty was as a rapid precision bomber. It was designed to strike key enemy targets, such as industrial locations and supply hubs, before fleeing to avoid serious repercussions. Its speed would have let it bypass anti-aircraft defenses, making it an effective weapon for hit-and-run tactics. However, the P-170's reliance on speed came with downsides. Although it could potentially outperform most interceptors of the era, new Allied fighters, such as the P-51 Mustang, posed a significant threat. These fast-moving, heavily armed, and extremely maneuverable aircraft posed a formidable challenge to the defenseless P-170. The P-170's lack of defensive armaments left it vulnerable in an engagement with hostile fighters. Its survival would rely solely on its ability to elude capture through remarkable speed and agility. This severely constrained its mission profile, limiting its versatility in comparison to other multi-role bombers of the time. Operationally, the P-170 would have required careful planning to take advantage of its benefits. Pilots would have to fly precise paths to decrease their exposure to opposing fire and ensure the correct delivery of their payloads. This put a lot of pressure on the crew and the plane's navigation systems. Despite its speed, the P-170 had flaws. Its unarmed layout rendered it ineffective if intercepted by other fighters, and it lacked the armor to withstand anti-aircraft fire. These concessions meant that the P-170, while capable of excelling in specific missions, was far from a universal solution. Whereas the P-170's singular focus on speed limited its adaptability, the British Mosquito thrived as a multi-role aircraft capable of reconnaissance, bombing, and even night fighting. Though creative, its design indicated a risk that speed alone could overcome the challenges of modern aerial combat. Despite its bold design and lofty goals, the Blohm Voss P-170 never made it past the concept stage. It succumbed to the harsh realities of war and the shifting needs of the German war machine, just like many experimental aircraft constructed during World War II. Germany's resources were stressed in 1942 as the struggle became increasingly fierce. The Luftwaffe prioritized proven aircraft and innovative technologies, such as jet propulsion, over experimental concepts. Projects such as the Heinkel HE-219 Night Fighter and the ME-262 jet fighter ate up the majority of the available funds and resources, leaving little room for unconventional ideas like the P-170. The P-170's reliance on piston engines also put it in opposition with the Luftwaffe's growing emphasis on jets. As aircraft like the ME-262 began to emerge, it became clear that jet power, rather than the most advanced propeller-driven designs, would dominate aerial warfare in the future. Furthermore, the P-170's design raised concerns about its combat worth because it prioritized speed over armament and adaptability. By 1942, Allied radar systems and more potent fighters such as the P-51 Mustang had altered the mechanics of air battle, making the P-170's defenseless hit-and-run strategy exceedingly dangerous. At last, the P-170 was deemed too specialist and risky to warrant mass production. The P-170's limited appeal derived from the Luftwaffe's need for aircraft capable of performing a wide range of missions. It became one of several grandiose programs that were scrapped when Germany's war plans evolved. The P-170 was not alone in its fate. Many ambitious German aircraft concepts, such as flying wings and asymmetrical bombers, were never put into production. These designs demonstrate the tension between innovation and pragmatism in military aviation. Today, the P-170 serves as a reminder of what may have been. Although it never flew, its innovative design and powerful vision continue to excite aviation enthusiasts and serve as a reminder of the artistic leaps that occur during times of need. The Blohm Voss P-170 never flew, yet its impact is still felt in the aviation industry. The P-170 is one of the most innovative designs of its period, representing the ambitious concepts that defined wartime ingenuity. Its technical principles, as well as its function as a symbol of what may have been, contribute to the preservation of its legacy. The P-170 serves as the cornerstone for future high-speed aircraft due to its speed and aerodynamic properties. Although unique, the three-engine configuration demonstrated the promise of distributed thrust for stability and performance balance. This notion would re-emerge in various versions and influence the design of multi-engine and experimental aircraft in the coming years. In many ways, the P-170 was ahead of its time. Its streamlined fuselage and emphasis on speed over weaponry foreshadowed the design concepts used in modern stealth aircraft and drones. These machines frequently forego traditional protections in favor of efficiency, relying instead on speed, agility, and superior engineering to accomplish their goals. Instead of being regarded as a failure, the P-170 is now praised for the inventiveness of its designers. Engineers, historians, and aviation enthusiasts continue to find inspiration in its unconventional layout and lofty goals. For many, it's a reminder of how imagination drives invention, a fusion of art, science, and engineering. The P-170's timeless appeal is emphasized by its resemblance to science fiction designs, particularly those from steampunk and speculative culture. Whether viewed as a historical curiosity or a futuristic wonder, it captures the imagination in ways that few other aircraft can. In another scenario, the P-170 may evolve into a modern platform equipped with avionics and improved propulsion systems. The Blohm Voss P-170 represents ambition, a bold attempt to question the conventions of its time. Although it's still a work of history, its potential basis for future projects keeps the imagination ablaze. Although it never flew, its design encourages innovation by reminding us that even unrealized concepts can affect aviation's future path. The Blohm Voss P-170 remains a fascinating chapter in aviation history. Its distinctive design, unconventional engineering, and striking resemblance to steampunk and science fiction have all contributed to its status as a symbol of ingenuity. Though it never took off, its legacy continues to inspire both historians and dreamers. From its unique three-engine configuration to its emphasis on speed and accuracy, the P-170 demonstrates how bold ideas can transcend their time. It serves as a reminder that the pursuit of creativity can be hazardous at times. Even unrealized ideas can have a significant impact. We appreciate you joining us on this journey through the Blohm Voss P-170 tale. Based on what you know, was this steampunk-inspired pod racer destined to remain a dream? Or could it have revolutionized aviation? Please tell us in the space provided below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of the incredible aircraft that shaped and changed our world. Keep exploring the heavens of history until the next time.